Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a salted caramel and pretzel cake. I've not really decided what to call this style of cake, but it's delicious no matter what. So to start off, we're going to make a brown sugar sponge. So we're going to place butter and brown sugar into your large bowl, and using an electric mixer, you're just going to beat that together till it's light and fluffy. You're going to do this for about 5 minutes. Into your bowl, you're going to add your eggs, and if you want all the details of ingredients and quantities, they'll be in the description box below. And you're going to whisk those up with a fork until they're combined. You're going to slowly add those into your butter and sugar mixture, and you want to do this like really slowly, otherwise it's going to curdle. If it does curdle, just add a tablespoon of flour and fold that through, and it'll bring it all back together. Once you've added in your final bit of egg, you want to beat that for a good minute to make sure that it's all thoroughly combined. Screw down the bowl with a spatula, and then you're going to sieve in your flour, and also the salt and the bicarbonate of soda. You want to fold that through, and this creates a really nice dark caramelly sponge. It's amazing. The final step to this recipe is to add a splash of milk and fold that all through. Now I'm baking this in my special tin. It's a 12 by 12 inch tin, but then you have to divide it, and I've divided my tin into 12 by 4 inches, and I've done 2, but I actually went back and repeated this for an extra 1, so I actually made 1.5 times this recipe. I'll leave details in the description box below, so follow the recipe there. If you want to buy this pan, I'll also leave a link in the description box below. So flatten that out with your spoon, and you're going to bake that at 180 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes. Now in a large pot with high sides, you're going to make our caramel, so that's sugar and water into a pan. And you want to swirl that round until the water's completely covering all that sugar. Add a lid, and you're just going to heat that unstirred until it starts to bubble and boil and the sugar dissolves. Once it's starting to really bubble like this, you're going to take a wet pastry brush and just brush down the sides of the pan where that sugar is. Once you start to see it caramelise in one area, take your wooden spoon and gently stir it around to distribute that colour throughout the caramel. You're not rigorously stirring, just gentle mixing. Place your cream into the microwave, and you're going to heat that for about a minute until it's just warm to the touch, and this is going to make combining it with our caramel easier. So once we hit this deep amber colour, you're going to chuck in that warm cream, and it's going to bubble and boil, and you're going to stir that through. It actually steams up my camera, so keep your hands away, and you're going to heat that for about a minute until it's all bubbling and smooth. Take that off the heat, and you're going to pour that through a sieve into your bowl. To make this salted caramel, we're going to add a little bit of sea salt and stir that all through. Then you're just going to let that chill until we're ready to use it. So once your cakes have baked and cooled, you're going to take them out of that tin, and we're going to level off the top. I'm just using a serrated knife, just gently and carefully going all the way through. I'm going to cover my cakes in simple syrup, so that's just 1 part sugar and 1 part water, boiled and cooled. I've actually used brown sugar for this, so I've got this really dark simple syrup. It's just going to enhance that caramel flavour, as well as keeping your cakes moist. It doesn't make it soggy or overly sweet, it just keeps them perfect. So spread all that simple syrup over your cakes. And now we're going to take a batch of buttercream, and if you want my recipe for buttercream, you can click the I in the corner, and we're going to add a couple spoonfuls of that caramel, not all of it, just a couple of tablespoons. Stir that all through until we've got a nice caramel buttercream. You're going to add a splodge of that onto your cake board and just spread that out, and then we're going to go on with our first layer of cake and another layer of buttercream. You want to spread that buttercream carefully all the way out to the edge. Now this cake is quite sweet, so you don't want to go on with too much buttercream, just a thin layer. In each of the corners, I like to add a little pat of buttercream, because I find that when you do square and rectangle cakes, the corners seem to sag a bit, so adding that little splodge in the corner keeps them upright. I'm going to crush some pretzels just in my hand and sprinkle those over the layer before topping that with salted caramel, and the pretzels here just add such a nice texture to the cake, it's really good. So add on your next layer of cake, and you're going to repeat that whole step all over again. So buttercream, spread it out, adding some buttercream into the corners, then we're going on with our crushed pretzels, and a drizzle of more caramel. Top that off with your final layer of cake, which you're going to invert. Push that all down. If you've got any bits of pretzel sticking out, just take them out and eat them. And then you're going to mask this whole cake in buttercream. So this is just a crumb coat. It's just a thin layer of buttercream that traps in all the crumbs. Doesn't need to be perfect, just a nice rough layer. Take an icing smoother, and you're going to smooth that off until it's smooth. Don't worry about seeing cake through, because we're going to give it another layer of buttercream later. Once you've smoothed that all out, you're going to take your offset spatula and pull that lip of buttercream from the top edge into the centre of the cake. Once that's all done, you're going to pop that in the fridge for about an hour to chill. Once it comes out, we're going to give it another coat in buttercream, and now I've added some more caramel, and I also added a little bit of brown and a little bit of ivory colouring to get this really nice caramel colour. So spread that quite thickly around your cake. And then once it's all over, you're going to take your icing smoother again and smooth off those sides. It's the same as the crumb cake, we're just adding a little bit more buttercream and trying to make it look perfect. So with all the sides smooth again, taking the offset spatula and pulling that lip of buttercream into the centre of the cake. If you're not happy with the icing job, you can put it back in the fridge, chill it for about half an hour and bring it back out and give it another ice. To top this cake, I'm taking that caramel in a piping bag and I'm going to drizzle that all over my cake in zigzags, going back and forward. Now in hindsight, I probably should have heated this caramel up just 10 or 20 seconds in the microwave, and it's just going to form the drips a lot better. So once you've done it one way, you're going to go and do it the other way, and it's going to create these crisscrosses as well as the zigzags. Then take some more of that buttercream. I actually left a little bit of it white and just piped some rosettes on top of the cake. I'm using a star tip. Finish off those rosettes with 2 pretzels. And then we're going to crush some pretzels, again just in our hands, and then you're going to press those all around the base of the cake, and this brings the whole cake to life. The final step is a little sprinkling of sea salt. And that's literally it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, click here to see my last video, and here to see a video randomly selected by YouTube for you.